Professor Weasley, we've one more to be sorted.
Welcome. You're just in time. Have a seat.
Possess a willingness to forge ahead alone when you must. I detect a growing sense of ambition, an eagerness for power. And you've a ready mind, quick to learn. And your loyalty to a friend delayed your arrival here this evening. Better be Gryffindor! You belong in Slytherin! You belong in Ravenclaw! Better be Hufflepuff!
It's most uncommon for a student to begin as a fifth year. This should be quite an adventure.
I'm looking forward to it.
I remember the first time I entered the Gryffindor common room after being sorted.
You were a Gryffindor?
I am a Gryffindor. Never could remember the password when I was a girl, however.
Password?
Password?
The password is Grata Domum.
Grata Domum.
You may enter.
Well done. Now, go on in and get some sleep. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well. It's quite uncommon for a student to begin as a fifth year. It may be a bit of a challenge, but one I'm sure you're up for.
I can be quite resourceful.
I suspected as much. This is the entrance to the Slytherin common room. In order to enter, one must simply speak the correct password. Aspiration.
Very well. Aspiration.
Well done. Now, go on in and get some sleep. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well. It's quite uncommon for a student to begin as a fifth year. Might be a bit of a challenge, but one I'm sure you're up for.
I am, Professor.
This is the entrance to the Ravenclaw common room. You must solve a riddle to enter. I won't be of much help, I'm afraid. This sort of thing has always confounded me.
Who lived longer? The ghost or the poltergeist?
A ghost or a poltergeist? A non-being can never have been.
Well done. Now, go on in and get some sleep. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well. It's quite uncommon for a student to begin as a fifth year. Might be a bit of work, but I'm sure that's never stopped you before.
It hasn't, Professor.
Now, here we are at the entrance to the Hufflepuff Common Room.
This is the entrance.
Indeed. I will explain what to do, but I hesitate to do it myself as one errant knock leads to being doused in vinegar. Most unpleasant. You must tap the barrel, 2 from the bottom, middle of the second row, in the rhythm of Helga Hufflepuff. Well done. Now go on in and get some sleep. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well.
So lucky they didn't end up as dragon food, like that poor man from the ministry. I hope a professor catches her this time.
A professor could arrive any moment. Still not working. Ugh. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's not a complicated spell. I should be able to do it non-verbally. Why is this not working? Ugh. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Gryffindor. I'm Cressida.
Pleasure to meet you, Cressida.
Splendidly theatrical arrival to the sorting ceremony last evening. Made it in by the skin of your teeth. Is it true that you're Professor Fig's protege?
I'm not sure I'd say that, but I did study with him a little before we arrived.
Blast! I was hoping he might have given you some advice on non-verbal casting.
Is that what you were trying to do just there?
Oh, yes. Having a spot of trouble. I've mastered the charm using its incantation, but this is proving a bit trickier.
Don't worry, you'll get it in the end.
Oh, I hope so. If I can get it, Professor Ronan's sure to be very impressed. I'm just going to keep at it.
Is it really that difficult to cast non-verbally?
Oh, yes. And if you don't get it just right, the results can be, shall we say, awkward. Once, I tried to cast Depulso non-verbally on a goblet in the Great Hall and ended up launching Professor Sharp's Yorkshire pudding into his face. He was not happy.
Do most students know how to cast non-verbally?
Not at all. Hogwarts doesn't teach non-verbal casting until the 6th year, and even then, many struggle with it. I'm simply trying to get ahead of the game.
Well, good luck with it. It was nice to meet you, Cressida.
You as well. Enjoy your first day. You were born with wings, Ellie. I'm sure you'd use them.
Why is everyone so highly strung? It's perfectly safe. Well, hello. Don't mind me. I find it helpful to change my point of view now and again. Put things in perspective. Once I made it to the top of Gryffindor Tower, from the outside, without a broom.
Goodness.
I'm Nellie, by the way. Nellie Ogspire. I've heard rumors about what happened to you on your way to Hogwarts. Is it true? About the dragon?
It's true, and I was almost killed. Professor Fig and I were lucky to escape with our lives.
How awful for you. And of course, that poor man from the ministry. But still, you got to see a dragon. Anyway, you've certainly brought some much-needed excitement to Gryffindor. And Hogwarts, for that matter.
What exactly are the rumors about my journey to Hogwarts?
That you escaped a dragon attack? Isn't that enough? Most of us arrive via train or boat, not having just escaped the jaws of a dragon. Of course it's got people talking. Word travels fast at Hogwarts.
I take it you're not afraid of heights.
It's something I've always done, since I was little. My mother once found me on the roof when I was 5. Still has no idea how I got there. But with all the strange hallways and rooms in the castle, and everything lurking in and outside the grounds, you don't need to scale a tower to see something incredible here.
I'd imagine most students have never seen a dragon. Have you?
Goodness, no. And I've never heard of one attacking a carriage like that. Not enough meat in a carriage, I'd think.
I'm sure I'll be seeing you around, either in our common room or when you scale your next tower.
You never know. Bye for now.
Well, you don't want to try it? Brewed it myself. Hello, you're the new 5th year. Pleased to meet you. I'm Gareth Weasley. Heard about your travels here. Can't believe it. Glad you and Fig are all right. Is it true that someone from the Ministry was with you in the carriage?
Oh, yes. A friend of Professor Fig's.
Oh, didn't mean to pry. Nasty business, dragons. Again, very glad you're here.
Thank you, Gareth. So am I. Are you related to Professor Weasley?
I am. She's my aunt.
Does having your aunt here make things difficult?
More than you'd think. Most people assume I can't get into trouble or be given detention. But they're wrong. Aunt Matilda tends to treat me as if I'm a first year. Keeps too close an eye on me. It's all a bit suffocating, to be honest. Still, she means well. And she's an incredibly powerful witch. She'll have your back.
Are you having butterbeer for breakfast?
Oh no. I've been perfecting a recipe I came up with over the summer. I'm almost there. Based on some reactions, it may need a bit more work.
Seems you enjoy brewing. Might I assume that you've a talent for potions of all sorts?
Well, as I see it, there's little difference, fundamentally, between brewing a modification to butterbeer and a Wiggenweld potion. Though, I'm not certain Professor Sharp would make the connection. He doesn't appreciate my, creativity as much as you might think.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Gareth, and thank you for the insights on your aunt.
Pleasure to meet you as well. Good luck today.
I suppose some introductions are in order.
It's that new 5th year.
That is not helpful. Can I help you?
Wonder where they're from.
Ah, you're the new 5th year. I'm Sebastian Sallow. Welcome to Slytherin.
Thank you.
Not everyone has a ministry escort to school.
He was a friend of Professor Fig's who merely joined us for the ride.
Still, impressive. Dreadful way to go, poor fellow. Glad you and Fig are all right.
Professor Fig and I were lucky to escape with our lives.
Indeed. And how did you escape?
It's all still a bit of a blur, to be honest.
Didn't mean to press. You just get yourself settled. We can talk more later.
What book were you reading?
A spell book I picked up. Has a few interesting things, but not exactly what I was looking for. I'm sure you'll find out soon enough. But not every spell you may need can be found in our assigned textbooks.
Are you saying some spells aren't taught at Hogwarts? Which ones?
Seems I may have met a kindred spirit. That is a conversation for another time. It was good meeting you. Good luck today.
Trust me.
I think I heard one.
Doubt mermaids find us that interesting. Ah, based on all the chatter when you entered the common room, I'm guessing you're the new 5th year. I'm Ominous. Ominous Gaunt.
Nice to meet you, Ominous.
Well, you certainly had a memorable arrival.
I'd much rather have arrived on time and without a dragon attack en route.
I'm sure. How horrible. I can only imagine. Well, it's good to have you in Slytherin. Do let me know if I can be of any help as you navigate your first days here.
Were you expecting to be sorted into Slytherin?
Most certainly. My family on my father's side are direct descendants of Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Not something I'm especially proud of, mind you. He was obsessed with blood status, a pure-blood maniac. Unfortunately, most of his descendants do not fall far from that tree.
Did that that student say he thought he heard a mermaid?
Yes, but I've never heard of a mermaid showing up outside our common room window. It is fun to play along, though. Been known to keep some first years on the lookout for hours.
Thank you, Ominous. Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure was all mine. Don't be a stranger.
Booze, trust me. Ugh, not going to move there, are you?
Here, watch this.
Don't say I didn't warn you. Checkmate. Told you. You should have listened to me. Ah, I know who you are. You're the new Slytherin, the one who barged in with Professor Fig last night. Interesting tactic on your first day, taking all the attention away from the first years. I'm Imelda, by the way. Shame I wasn't with you in Fig. I could have lured that dragon away. My skills on a broom are legendary.
Perhaps Professor Fig's friend would have survived if we'd had your help.
Precisely. Perhaps one of these days I'll show you a thing or two about flying. I can teach you more than Kogawa ever could. Speaking of which, I'd like to get in some time on my broom before classes.
Are you a keen Wizard Chess fan? You knew that boy was going to lose the match.
Not really. Much too sedate a pastime for me. Also, it's simply not that challenging. The moves are always so obvious. Why does no one else see it?
Do you have a lot of time to fly during school?
I make the time. There's nothing like swerving through the spires of the castle and around the Quidditch pitch to clear the mind.
Goodbye, Imelda.
Nice meeting you.
This should be interesting. One moment. Watch this.
Ugh! What is this?
Someone threw a dung bomb.
Let's get out of here.
That wasn't quite the reaction I wanted. Oh well.
Right. What did you hope would happen?
I suppose I hoped it would lighten the mood. Ravenclaws can be a bit on edge the first day of class. I'm Everett, by the way. You seem downright calm next to some of these characters, and you survived a rather harrowing trip here.
I'm glad to be here. Ready for classes to start.
Good. Glad to hear it. Truly, there's no reason to be nervous. Most professors are firm but fair. I mean, not all of the tricks I play are as simple as a tossed dung bomb, and I'm still here.
Wait, did you say most professors are firm but fair?
Ha! I did. But probably best I let you judge for yourself. I do tend to push their limits. I should wander off before someone traces that dung bomb back to me. Nice meeting you.
You too, Everett.
I want him to be in the perfect place. A place he'll be happy with. But I can't seem to find it. Great golden gobstones! I want him to thrive here.
Golden gobstones?
My own little expression. I bought this Dittany seedling from home and I so want him to feel cozy. Dittany is amazing, isn't it? So much healing power in such a little plant. I have a bit of a thing for plants, as you can see. Pleased to meet you. I'm Samantha.
Nice to meet you, Samantha. Is Dittany used in Wiggenweld potion?
It is. Looks like someone's been studying up on their potion making.
Actually, Professor Fig told me about the Wiggenweld potion.
Of course. I heard you were studying with him before term. He's an enigma, Fig. Teaches about theory, yet seems to know a lot about practical magic.
Professor Fig does know a great deal about, different forms of magic.
Well, I hope he told you about more than Wiggenweld. You've lots to catch up on, I'm sure.
An affinity for herbology is more typical of a Hufflepuff than a Ravenclaw, isn't it?
Ordinarily, perhaps, but it runs in my family. We've a full plot of these little fellows back home. I suppose you could say herbology is in my roots.
Is it common practice for students to grow their own ingredients?
Oh, yes. In fact, our herbology teacher, Professor Garlick, encourages it. And I don't think Professor Sharp, our potions master, cares where you get your ingredients, as long as your brews are all perfect.
It was nice to meet you, Samantha. Good luck with your Dittany.
Thank you. And good luck to you too on your first day.
You'd think you could... Ah! That is not... Why, hello. Would you like to take a look? Can't see too much in the day. Well, except for stars like Sirius, Canopus, Vega, and Arcturus. I'm Amit. Pleasure to have you in Ravenclaw. Never met someone who's been so close to a dragon before.
Can't say I'd recommend it, frankly. It's nice to meet you, Amit. I take it you like astronomy?
Oh, yes. So much to be learned from the stars. Also, there's something about the open air and night sky above the tower. It's invigorating. You will adore astronomy. Professor Shaw is incredibly knowledgeable.
I hope astronomy's on my schedule. Sounds interesting.
I have good news for you. You are most definitely taking astronomy. It is required for all fifth years. You will be enthralled with the tower. Plus, a quality telescope can show you things you never dreamed of.
I suppose I'll see you in class then.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of class, better get to my first one of the year. Nothing like the smell of fresh parchment, is there? Be seeing you!
I suppose some introductions are in order.
Oh, hello. She's awfully regal, isn't she?
Is that your owl?
I don't know who she is. Likely one of the Hufflepuffs around here. Owls choose their own company anyway. Wait, you're the new fifth year. Quite the dramatic entrance you made. Can't imagine wanting to call attention to yourself, especially since everyone will be watching to see how much you already know.
I'm really not worried. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Nevertheless, it is rather unusual. You must feel terribly out of place. Of course, presumably, as a hard-working Hufflepuff, you'll prove yourself in no time. I'm hard-working too, as you might suspect. But sometimes I think I should have been a Ravenclaw. I've rather a searing wit. At least people have always told me so. I'm Lenora, by the way. Lenora Everly. Well, mustn't keep you. You've such a lot to do.
Do you really think you should have been in Ravenclaw?
Well, my brothers were. They both work in the Ministry now. I suppose you could say that wit runs in the family. My aunt was a Gryffindor, though, and I've always had plenty in common with her. Determination, valor, daring. The old sorting hat was spoiled for choice with me.
It was nice meeting you, Lenora.
Of course. Adieu.
Frightened little cat.
I can't quite reach.
Come on, you went that way.
Hope they can catch him. Big castle for a student to get lost in, let alone a cat. I'm sure you'll find your way all right. I mean, it can be a bit overwhelming at first. I still get lost sometimes. Welcome to Hufflepuff, by the way. Really glad to have you in our house. I'm Arthur.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Was that your cat?
No, one of the first years, I think. Don't have any pets of my own, unfortunately. My mother doesn't think too highly of them, especially magical ones.
I'm sorry to hear that. I think magical beasts are rather incredible.
Best thing about coming to Hogwarts. Nifflers, glumbumbles, bowtruckles. I thought they were only pictures in books before. Well, Dad did bring home a puffskein once. Mum was furious. Anyway, I better go make sure the first years caught that cat. Don't want them to be late on their first day.
Have you ever had a pet, Arthur?
No. My mother's a muggle, and as soon as the puffskein that my dad brought home stuck its tongue up her nose, it went right back to the shop.
Nice meeting you, Arthur, and good luck finding that cat.
Thank you. Try not to get lost in the castle yourself.
Yeah. Oh, Uncle, this doesn't sound like you. Something's wrong. Oh, hello there. You're the new Hufflepuff, yes? I'm Adelaide. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Is everything all right?
Oh, yes. I'm just a bit distracted. Letter from my uncle. So tell me, I've been hearing all sorts of rumors. Were you really nearly gobbled up by a dragon?
That one is true. Not the typical start to a new school.
That's dreadful. Well, I'm glad you made it here alive. Well, anyway, I imagine you have lots to do. I hope you have a wonderful first day.
Are you sure everything is all right with your uncle?
Oh, yes. He travels for work, always busy. I'm sure he just wrote it in a rush. Nothing to worry about.
Thank you, Adelaide. Be seeing you.
Of course, and good luck.
New Gryffindor. Professor Weasley's waiting for you outside the common room.
Ah, the guide appears to have some information for you about that painting of poor Barufio.
Revelio.
Simply cast Revelio on it, and we'll see. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use blue flames to get around a bit quick.
Is the new 5th year Slytherin in here? Professor Weasley's waiting for you just by the stairs.
If I can just stop that.
Why don't you cast Revelio on that statue? Ah, good timing. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use blue flames to get around a bit quicker. Your field guide contains...
Hey there, new Ravenclaw. Professor Weasley is looking for you just outside.
You had best not keep her waiting.
Good morning. Why don't you cast Revelio on this bust and see what
Revelio.
details the field guide can provide? Ah, good timing. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use blue flames to get around a bit quicker.
Is the new Hufflepuff out of bed yet? Professor Weasley's waiting for them outside the common room.
Cast Revelio on it, and we'll see what the guide says. To show you how to use blue flames to get around a bit quicker. Your field guide contains a map of the castle. Open it up and find Central Hall.